Welcome to part 2 of this FM18 experiment where I've cloned Pep Guardiola and stuck all 20 Guardiolas in charge of the 20 English Premier League teams. We did see a couple of casualties in part 1, so please go and check that out first, where I looked at the first season of this experiment. I've now holidayed a further 3 years into the future. We're going to have a look to see what carnage has occurred, so let's get on with this. As you can see, dominance from Manchester United on the right hand side here, past winners. Man United have won it 4 seasons in a row now, and we've only seen them, Man City and Chelsea featuring in the top 3 in the last 3 seasons. Arsenal did finish 3rd in that first season. It's been pretty boring, quite predictable. I'm starting to think I should do an experiment about are Man United overpowered on FM18, because they just do remarkably well. Do bear in mind that they do have Guardiola in charge now, of course. I'm just going to skip back to the second season so we can have a look to see how it finished. So that was the first season. Second season, Man City finished 2nd with Chelsea and Spurs making up the top 4. Stoke, Hull and Fulham were relegated from the Premier League. Arsenal finished down in 6th, much worse season for them. In the next season, the third season overall, Man United champions once again, 2 ahead of Chelsea. Man City doing really well. There's a massive gap between the top 3 and 4th place. Liverpool with Arsenal and Tottenham making up 5th and 6th. Huddersfield and Newcastle and Wolves were relegated. And then the most recent season, Manchester United top of the table, only 1 point ahead of City. Chelsea 3rd, quite a big gap between them and Spurs in 4th, and then Everton finishing up in 5th, Liverpool 6th, and West Ham, who were relegated in that first season, back into the top flight, finishing 7th. Quite impressive stuff. And Arsenal down in 10th place with Brighton, Palace and Leeds getting relegated. So manager movements, I'm sure there's been plenty over the years. I'm just going to click on manager movements, in fact, if I can find it. This is what happened this year. So there's a few Guardiolas featuring in here, but of course we've had 3 seasons since part 1, so I'm sure there's been a lot of movement. But let's have a look at Manchester United first. Champions 4 years in a row with Guardiola, number 3 in charge. Their captain is Alexis Sanchez. Their key player is Paulo Dybala, who was signed for £118 million 2 years ago. They've got a phenomenal team, and Guardiola, number 3, I'm sure is spent. Oh, he is. Second season, £162 million spent. That is a ridiculous amount of money. But again, I guess some players go for that much in one big transfer these days. Rafael Varane was signed for £49.5 million. Pulisic came in from Dortmund as well, going out of the team. They sold Darmin and Romero coming into the team in the 3rd season. Dybala, they spent £207 million this season. Guardiola likes to spend money, doesn't he? But then again, so did Mourinho, to be fair. They sold Anthony Martial, though, for £106 million to PSG. I guess they don't really need him. They've got so many attacking players. In the 4th season, is this the 4th? Yeah, the 4th season, Guardiola, number 3, spent £97 million. This was the key signing for £51 million. He's a regen, French regen, 5 caps already for his country. And also this chap from Leipzig, Dayot Upamecano, another Frenchman who's got a lot of potential there, I think, or a lot of quality anyway. And going out the team, Daley Blind sold to Southampton, as you can see. That Dean Henderson, is he a regen or a real player? He's a real youngster, was sold, and this chap was also sold. So that is the Manchester United team that is just dominating at the moment. In fact, I'm going to look at competitions to see what they've won recently. So they haven't won the Champions League again, but they were runners-up in 2019 and 2021. Recent winners, Man City have won the most recent one. And we'll have to see, maybe Mourinho's in charge. In fact, they beat Man United on penalties. Wow, what a way to do it, eh? Man City versus Manchester United in the Champions League final, and it went down to penalties. Oh, they've signed Milinkovic-Savic, by the way. What a player he is. But Barcelona and Real Madrid won the 2 previous finals. Premier League, of course, they won 4 in a row. They won the Club World Championship in 2018, as you can see there. They also won the European Super Cup in runners-up in 2018. FA Cup, they managed to win that in 2021. And the Carabao Cup they've won twice so far on this experiment as well. So they've done really, really well. Man City have still got Jose Mourinho in charge, and he's led them to Champions League glory. That's just amazing. It really is. I wonder if he spent loads of money as well. Let's go back to the start. So second season, £183 million he spent. Icardi came in for 98. Vitolo from Atletico Madrid for 60 million as well. And then Milinkovic-Savic came in the third season. He was their biggest signing, £75 million, as you can see there. They sold Danilo for 20 million. And then most recent season, £248 million spent. So he's spending a similar amount to Guardiola, number 3 at Manchester United. Theo Hernandez was the key player, coming from Real Madrid for £90 million. Wow, that is a lot of money, and it looks like a very good player. Renato Sanchez has come in as well, so he must have developed to a decent level, but that's a very cheap fee from Bayern Munich. It might be his contract was running out or something. Kolasinac came in as well. He'd moved to Napoli in the meantime, but he's now at Manchester City. And going out the team, they sold Ederson to Shakhtar. Why? Why would they sell him? He's a quality goalkeeper, unless Mourinho just doesn't like us, but maybe he doesn't fit into the Mourinho style of play. In fact, what are they playing tactically? 4-2-3-1, so it's a little bit different to Guardiola's style. Maybe he's playing a bit more of a robust tactic. We can't actually see what he's playing, can we, style-wise? But this is the team at the moment. Goalkeepers, who they got in goal then? Because they got rid of Ederson. They've got Paul Lopez, Spaniard, who was signed for £16.5 million. So he's a decent goalkeeper. Rajkovic as well, the Serbian, good backup. So they've got a quality team, but managed by Mourinho on this. Chelsea still have Guardiola number 2, a happy smiling Brian brother up there. For those of you that watched the Brian Brothers experiment, you know what that's all about. And yeah, he's spending money. £161 million this season. Arthur, really good player, by the way. Great Brazilian central midfielder, signed from PSG for £108 million. So they're spending the money as well. Has he managed to win anything? Let's see. Runners-up in the Champions League, of course. Don't think he's actually won. Oh, he's won the Carabao Cup. So Carabao Cup-wise, Man United won it first season and third season. City in the second season. And Chelsea in the most recent season, beating Arsenal 2-1 in the final. Spurs still have Guardiola number 6 in charge. I assume it's the same one. Yes, it is. I'm expecting some of the Guardiolas to move around on this experiment as well. So Spurs finished 4th after spending £118 million, but they also sold £178 million worth of players. And Harry Kane has left. He went to PSG for £121 million. Their maestro has finally left the club. And you may have noticed Lloris also left the club to go to Monaco for £29 million. He's 34 years old though, but still got plenty of legs left in him as a goalkeeper. Big signing coming in, Sisto and Milik, maybe to replace Harry Kane up front, possibly. This is the Spurs team at the moment. They've still got Dele Alli at the age of 25. He's got 57 caps for his country. So yeah, that Guardiola was also doing well. Guardiola number 7 is still at Everton as well, presuming he's still the same. Yep, he is the same one. And then Liverpool have Guardiola number 4 still in charge. Hasn't managed to win anything with Liverpool yet. They've held on to him though, despite finishing 6th this year. West Ham doing really well with Solskjaer in charge. In fact, I do want to have a quick look at the tactics. Oh, so Guardiola's switched to a 4-4-2 at Manchester United. That's really interesting. So he's decided to mix things up. Whereas at Chelsea, he's actually playing the same formation as Mourinho at Man City. So he's not stuck to the same thing. It's just that first season, every single team played the same style. But it has been mixed up a little bit now. He seems to be favouring this 4-2-3-1 actually. Although that was Solskjaer. Bournemouth still have Guardiola 17 in charge. Now he's playing a 4-4-2 as well. He's done quite well to finish up in 8th place with Bournemouth. Swansea as well, finishing above Arsenal with Guardiola number 13 in charge. Whereas Arsenal still have 9. They've still got number 9 in charge. They've stuck with him. In fact, they haven't, because that's a different one. This is the first time we've seen 2 different Guardiolas in charge of the same team. So Guardiola number 5 was sacked for poor performances, I presume, and he's not managed to find a new club. And then in came Guardiola number 9, who previously was in charge of Southampton. So they lost their Guardiola, moved to Arsenal. Should have been going to Liverpool, really, shouldn't he? And finished 10th. So he might get sacked as well. They might get through 2 Guardiolas in one season. So there's still a few clinging on. The West Brom manager has gone. They've now got number 20 in charge. So 12 left in December 2018. And he hasn't found a club either. And then 20 came in. Now, number 20 was in charge of Huddersfield and led them to relegation, remember. Was in the Championship for half a season, then moved to West Brom. And things have certainly improved under him because they've managed to finish 11th. In fact, they haven't, because I think they finished 11th or 12th in the first season. Leicester City don't have Guardiola in charge anymore. Look at... Oh, this is crazy. Number 8 left in July 2018. So they actually got... Oh, he resigned. He resigned for some reason. He's the manager of Spain. Guardiola number 8. This is a right mess, isn't it? It's brilliant, though. Guardiola number 8 is in charge of Spain. I'm guessing he became manager after the last World Cup, which was won by... Who was it won by? It was won by France. They beat... Wow! This is amazing. That is incredible. Iceland reached the World Cup final in 2018. This has just distracted me even more now. I'm distracted from the Guardiola theme, but France... Oh, that is brilliant. Well done, Iceland. They're down to 50th in the world rankings now since then, but look, they were riding high in 5th after the World Cup. It's all gone wrong for them recently, but that is incredible. Iceland, I want that to happen in real life. I want them to win it, to be honest. That'd be amazing. Iceland, World Cup runners-up in 2018 on this experiment. Nothing to do with Guardiola, I presume. Maybe we've completely messed with the game and it has caused that, but I doubt it. Anyway, going back to Leicester City, who have been through 2 Guardiolas as well, but they've also had Gary Neville in charge as caretaker manager twice. He's the assistant manager at Leicester. But Guardiola 18 came in for 278 days and was sacked after poor performances. So, yeah, Guardiola 18 not doing too well, but Guardiola 8 in charge of Spain, so he must be doing all right. They've got 20 different Guardiolas to pick from, the Spanish national team. They can just go through all of them, can't they? Burnley, they don't have Guardiola in charge anymore. They sacked him after 2 years and 261 days. In fact, he left. It's 18, of course. 18 went to Leicester City and then was sacked by Leicester City. That makes sense. They've got Daniel Baldini in charge now. At Southampton, they don't have Guardiola either, because remember, he left to go to Arsenal and they haven't replaced him with another Guardiola. Watford still have number 16 in charge, and he stayed there for the entirety of this experiment, which is good to see. Stoke City, they've got Manuel Pellegrini in charge, an ex-Man City manager. But yeah, they sacked number 14 in the year 2019 after 1 year and 327 days in charge. Gary Monk came in for 1 year and 197 days and was sacked, but he did win the FA Cup. According to this, they won it, but they sacked him regardless 6 months later. So yeah, it's a cruel world, the English Premier League. Preston North End, obviously they don't have a Guardiola. They've got Alex Neil in charge. Brighton have Gary Monk in charge. They got rid of 19 after 1 year and 327 days, and he hasn't managed to find a new club. Crystal Palace, remember, they stuck with their manager for a little bit, in fact for quite a while. I'm guessing he must have managed to get them promoted, relegated, and then, or maybe not promoted, maybe, I think, Pellegrini was in charge. I think he got them promoted. This is just messy but amazing. I love it. And Leeds United lastly, another Premier League team that haven't had a Guardiola in charge. So that's the story so far of the 20 cloned, well, the one original Guardiola and the 19 cloned Guardiolas. What's happened to the original though? Where is he? Here they all are. Here's all 20. Here's the original. He's not found a new club. 3 years on, he's still not found a club. They decided to pick Guardiola number 8. No, sorry, which one is it? Is it Guardiola number 8 is in charge of Spain? Yeah, he is. And they picked him to be manager of Spain rather than the original. But then again, maybe the original didn't want it. Imagine if all 20 turned up for the interview. That'd be so confusing. In fact, they might have meant to give it to number 4, for example, but accidentally gave it to number 8 because they all got muddled up in the interview room. You never know. Anyway, that's it for part 2 of this experiment. In part 3, I'm going on holiday another few years. Remember to let me know, who do you think? In fact, you've already let me know in the first video, but perhaps some of you are on course for predicting the Guardiola that will last the longest at his club. I mean, I guess it should really be Guardiola 3 because he's just been incredibly successful, but you never know. Oh, this is brilliant. I love this. It's just so much fun. It's crazy, but fun. And I hope you're enjoying it too. Please hit the like button if you are. Until next time, enjoy FM18. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you very soon.